because there's all. I mean, I feel like I know the people who are listening to these things pretty well, and it's musicians, it's other people around in the scene who are trying to learn something from other people. That's why I wanted you guys on here. I want to talk to people who can pass something forward. So,
patient,
control,
definitive. I mean,
unless you drink a gallon of Jim Beam during a recording session, then you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
And then the next night you listen to it and go,
it's like, damn, all right, do over. Maybe just 8 shots tonight. That's it. Maybe 8.
That was back in the old drinking days.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it makes it a lot harder.
Oh, totally.
It makes it a lot harder, and so you kind of learn as you go along. If you spend much time recording, I mean, I can't really do my best thing when I'm impaired in any way. And so, it's the sad fact of it is the tape doesn't lie.
No. It will not.
And I mean, I've listened to tapes of us. Les followed us around for probably 2 years recording us live, and man, there was some of those early shows, and I just didn't even sound like me. It's just so it's so embarrassing.
I thought they got a different drummer on the third set.
Yeah, and so you kind of learn from that.
I can't keep time, and just alcohol. Alcohol's not your friend on stage.
And even
couple now and then's fine.
When you're there in the moment, it's one thing, but when you're listening back to it, it's like there's nothing on here I'd like anyone to hear again. Mm-hmm. And, you kind of, have to learn that and either decide, well, I'm going to try to be a recording artist, or I'm going to try to just play for the moment and go on about it. But, I felt like, higher level studio recording, master level recording, I call it, it takes a lot of dedication, patience, and in these days, technical skills that, it's a lot to juggle doing it all. You think of all the things that...
and it takes a lot of time. Unless everybody's got a month off from everything else going on in their lives, where that's all we do.
Yeah.
Be done a lot faster.
That's the dream.
That's the dream, but that's what the album that we're... Be the Wolf is, I think it's going to be entitled, or titled, it was about 5-6 years in the making, By the time we recorded everything that we have.
I definitely understand that. We started working on this... It'll be a year next month.
So yeah, you get
and
it.
You got to take your shots where you can get them. And I on the one hand, and I'm not one of those people that's like tape was so much better, because analog's good, digital's good. If you're going to sound good, you're going to sound good, and if you're going to sound bad, you're going to sound bad. But there was an intro to a song. Got lost. It's gone.
Oh no!
And with tape, it's like you lost a physical thing. It's gone somewhere,
right?
And with digital, somebody just hit Control Z, the wrong time,
and then it's gone forever.
Well, and and then shut down and restarted, and so I'm like, well, fuck.
I always wanted to record drum tracks on analog, just see what it'd sound like. I think it's warmer sounding myself, but
maybe you should video yourself. Then you would have it on video.
Yeah, well, have you seen our drummer? Look him in the
same drummer it was that night.
He's gonna hear this and kick my ass. Yeah. No, that's Brian. He is the meanest looking motherfucker on the planet, but nicest guy. Because I did the thing you're super not supposed to do when I was putting Fall of the Brothers together, and got on Craigslist to look for fellow musicians. Because I've been playing with the same 5 people my whole life, and we just never got anywhere.
Right.
And so I was like, I need somebody who can do this thing, And he messaged me back, and we talked on the phone. And if you ever listen to Brian talk, he's got a pretty high pitched voice. I have a deeper voice than he does.
Yeah.
And then so I'm out here because our rehearsal space is back there, and I'm standing out here waiting for him because he says he's going to be here, and this little S10 pulls up, and then out gets this 6'4" something 300+ pound covered in tattoos, long hair. I was just like, I'm gonna die. No one's ever gonna find me.
Yeah.
Nothing that you were imagining.
Not at all. Not at all.
Well, that's kind of fun.
Oh yeah. He starts unloading his drum kit, and I'm trying to think of a reason to just be gone and be like, sorry man, we can't. And then he sits down and fucking kills it. Yeah. The word go, and I was like, all right, well that's what I get for being a dick and judging people by how they look. So.
I'm stereotyping.
No, and he's one of my best friends in the whole world now because of it.
That's good.
But he and I have been through this whole thing together, and Lefty joined after that, and then we replaced our bass player. But we've been working on this record for like a year, and you're like you said, unless you've got a month to put into it, a month of solid, we get up on Monday and we're gonna take the weekend off or something like that. You're just
then you're in there like just like a work day, 8 hours or whatever, and just sometimes more. I don't know. It's all about having time.
So, in that regard, what was the hardest thing for you guys in the studio to get down? For myself, something I thought that would be super simple for me that kicked my ass was singing background vocals. Just singing harmonies and holding one note.
Well, I haven't done that much background vocals over the years. I don't know. Really, the hardest thing was
playing with a click track was a big one for you.
That was the hardest thing learning. That was when Ace came on board, because I wasn't playing with a click track, and you can tell the difference. So now I won't record without one. But that was the hardest thing to wrap my brain around, which it's easier than it really seems to be. I mean, you just got to stay. If you play and you can't hear it, that means you're right on it, or close enough, to where everything, because it's easier for the guitars to come in and everything's in pretty much perfect time.
But remember when you were overdubbing the tambourine on Nasty Rock and Roll, and you were like,
"This is not
I've
right."
heard this story
on
before.
the second chorus, it's like, how come I can't get this? Well, because we're not playing with a click, and it's a little bit off.
It is a little bit off.
But that's what makes music, man. I mean, there's so many sterilized.
It was a learning experience.
Sounds out there.
The second record was.
They try to get better with your performance and your songwriting and your delivery and the promotion and everything on each album.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the goal, I guess.
So soon to be released album's going to be pretty tight, because everything's done with a click.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
We've got some tracks out there on our website. If you go to hurricanemason.rocks, you can listen to some of the stuff and various points of our career. We're building that website up, trying to get it to be sort of like the hub of all things Hurricane Mason. It's like, this is like the next step of the band, is kind of like taking control of your career, taking control of it all. Because, trust me, I've flirted with all these major labels and these people, and they don't really have any better idea where it's going either, and you're kind of the best one to really market and sell yourself. I've had people tell me they wanted all kinds of money and all kinds of this, and then they tell me on the other hand they don't know what to do for me. I was like, well, I know what to do for me, and so I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And so when Tracy came back in the band, early when we started the band together, his wife Shannon was really, she was good at helping us get things together, and just running the merch table, and taking over the social media, and that kind of thing. Just takes a huge bunch of pressure off
such
me.
a load off.
Why I've been married for so long.
Man,
That's right.
True
Kind
that.
of what you're saying. You got to have a good relationship, and she is very passionate. My wife Shannon, and she's just as passionate as I am with music. It's just in a different way. She wants us to succeed so much, that she just puts her heart into everything. She does.
it's great having somebody that
supportive
can
role.
work on this stuff that frees me up to do other stuff, booking gigs, writing songs, trying to there's a lot of things to go into this that a lot of people just don't realize, and then you put it on the fact that this is what I do. This is not something that I do in my spare time or my free time. This is what I do. I make music, and that's the way I make my way through life. And so there's a lot of pressure with that kind of too, because as you well know, it's tough out there nowadays.
Ain't that the truth, man?
Yeah, I go to shows, I see shows online, and it's like half of these people are sitting there looking at their phone, if they're even there at all. And it's like, this isn't Facebook, this isn't YouTube, this is live and living color.
Live music, folks.
That's part of the reason we tried. I tried to do, the whole flashy suit gimmick, and I'll be the first to admit it's a straight Prince ripoff. He passed away, and I was like, somebody's got to do it, and why not?
Why not?
Yeah, no.
It looks cool.
I don't see anybody else doing it. You got to do something to get their attention, and that's the hardest thing. I remember being 13, 14, 15, first doing this in front of people as a rock band. And the hardest thing to do was to find a show, find a gig. And now, that's not necessarily the hard thing. The hard thing is, there are people in the room, but they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Right. They could care less. You're too loud, I can't talk on my phone while you're playing live rock and roll, 6 feet from me. Well,
At a bar.
you had a bar.
Imagine that there's rock and roll at a bar.
Right.
Who'd have thought that?
What a novel idea.
So, before we take our first break for the evening, I'll give you guys a platform here to just pimp the shit out of your website, your shows, your albums, whatever you want to talk about. You got 30 seconds, and then we'll take a break.
Come see us.
Well, we got HurricaneMason.rocks. That's a good one. We got the Instagram page. That's just check Hurricane Mason on Instagram. We've got Facebook, of course. We have Twitter. And if you're really good, there's a secret group on Facebook that I'll invite you to. That's where all the real juicy details get put out.
I'm not even in that.
Yeah.
Well, you just got back on there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's been a recluse for a little bit on Facebook.
It's so exclusive, I'm out of it.
We have about 40 videos on YouTube. I mean, Reverb Nation. It's just, I'm surprised all the time when people say they've never heard of us. I'm like, where have you been?
Yeah, really.
Well, we'll get back to it in just a few minutes, guys. This is the New Tulsa Sound Podcast, so hang on.